Carbs don't make you fat. So why do they get so much hate on social media? Let's break it down using actual science. What do carbs actually do? First, carbs are not just sugar. They serve 4 very important functions within the body. First, they're your body's preferred source of fuel, especially during high-intensity activity. Second, they help preserve muscle mass by sparing protein. Third, they act as a primer for fat burning. Eating carbs actually helps you burn fat more efficiently. And fourth, they fuel your brain and central nervous system. So if you've ever felt very tired or groggy on a very low-carb diet, that's probably why. Okay, this is where it gets interesting. How are carbs stored? Carbs are stored in the form of glycogen within the muscle and liver. When you're well nourished, you store about 500 grams of glycogen, and at 4 calories per gram, that's 2,000 calories of stored glycogen. But here's the part that most people don't understand. For every 1 gram of glycogen, your body stores 3 to 4 grams of water. So when someone cuts carbs and loses 5 pounds in a week, that's not fat loss, that's glycogen and water. You can easily drop 4 to 6 pounds just from depleting your carb stores. And if you were eating a high carb diet before that, it could be even more. And that's why low carb diets can look so magical in week 1, but you're not burning fat any faster. You're just draining your energy stores. Having carbs available during exercise also helps to regulate fat mobilization and its use for energy. What your body uses for fuel during exercise is based off 2 things: the intensity and duration of the activity, and the nutritional status and fitness level of the exerciser. But in general, for high intensity activity, you'll be burning mostly carbs. For moderate intensity activity, you'll be burning a mixture of carbs and fat. And then low intensity activity, you'll be burning mostly fat. But if you're trying to train hard without any carbs, that's like flooring the gas pedal with no gas left in the tank. So how many carbs should you eat? Most people should get about 40 to 50% of their calories from carbs. If you're physically active, that number could go up to 60%. And during intense training blocks, that number could even go up to 70%, or 8 to 10 grams per kilogram of body weight. But here's the real issue. The average American gets half of their carbs from added sugars, roughly 22 to 28 teaspoons per day. Those carbs aren't coming from fruits and vegetables. They're coming from soda, candy, and ultra-processed foods. And once your glycogen stores are full, the excess sugar will get stored as fat. So if carbs aren't the enemy, what is? Overeating calories. You gain weight from being in the calorie surplus, not just from carbs existing. But quality does matter. Ultra-processed, low-fiber carb sources digest really quickly, which means you'll feel hungrier sooner, which means you'll be more likely to overeat. Whole food sources, or minimally processed fiber-rich sources of carbs, digest a lot slower, and therefore will keep you fuller for a lot longer, therefore resisting the urge to overeat. And that's the difference. Okay, so here's the key takeaway. Carbs themselves aren't evil. Low-quality, ultra-processed carbs and overeating, that's the problem. Try to prioritize fruits, vegetables, and whole grains, or foods that have a lot of fiber. And try to minimize ultra-processed carb sources, or foods that have a lot of added sugar. Do you currently eat high carb, low carb, or somewhere in the middle? Comment below.